Good afternoon, welcome back to Dumfries Ice Bowl. We have a session, what are we up to now? Session 5 of the second weekend of the Scottish qualifiers, the men's qualifiers. This game we're watching, I'm going to be covering for you this afternoon, is Scott Hamilton playing out of Lockerbie against Hamish Lorrain-Smith out of Murrayfield. Must-win game for both of them. We'll come on to the standings, exactly how they're sitting and what they need to do and everything else as we go through it. First of all, better say hello to other commentators with me this afternoon. Linda Owen, how are we doing, Linda?
Fine, thank you, David. This is the first game that I've been in here for this weekend, so I'm quite looking forward to it.
And also Claire Sloan, coming back for second stint.
Hello.
You enjoy this first stint well enough to come back? You're not running away or anything like that?
No, not quite. It was a good game this morning. I think this is going to be a good game as well. As you said, must-win game for both teams. Important game.
So this is the first end here. I think we are a bit further through the first end than our graphics are showing us just now. But we'll get that sorted for the next end. So this is Scott Hamilton's rink, but it looks like it's been skipped by Graham Black this weekend, David, is that right?
Yeah, Graham's been skipping us. I actually spoke to Scott just before the game started, and I think they decided after a game last weekend that Graham was just going to take the head for the rest of the competition. Scott providing a steadying influence at the third.
Well, I must admit, I did see Scott last night. I was playing at Lockerbie and he'd played his 10 ends here, drove to Lockerbie, played 8 ends, then drove back and played 10 ends. So he didn't win, and neither did we, but never mind. So
yeah, less said about that one the better.
Yeah, I think so. I played 2 games last night and both were disastrous. So
I like that. It wasn't just a bad game. It was disastrous.
Put it this way, David. The second game we were 9-0 down after 3 ends and we had nothing. So we weren't getting very far.
Club curling at its best.
At its best, exactly. So obviously teams here looking to try and keep it quite tight. Scott Hamilton here with the last stone. Lorrain-Smith's looking for a draw here into the 4-foot. Just trying to keep the pressure on, forcing Team Hamilton to have to hit it out. Now, Claire, I would expect them to make this, would you, the draw?
Yeah, I would think so. Is this Scott's first stone?
No, this is Lorrain-Smith's.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. They're drawing in here.
Skip's first stones.
Skip's first stones, I think. So the sweepers are completely off it. Looks not bad. I mean, obviously these guys get a wee bit of practice and they all have to do a draw shot challenge to determine the hammer. So you would expect that to be pretty much spot on, which it is.
Yeah, I believe every single team covered the potlet in that last one. So I'm not quite sure how they judge that, whether they get them to go again. But
I don't know, because you've obviously got to get the measure in the hole to be able to.
If it covers the hole, it's counted 0, Linda. So
right, okay, fair enough. So, end of the end here. So this one's just coming in probably a wee bit further than they wanted. I think they actually just called for a guard. It's giving Graham here the opportunity for a hit and roll in behind the yellow here. So this is Alan Marshall playing for the Hamilton stroke black team. I think he's plays out of Kinross or Perth or something of that ilk, is it?
Sorry, who's that?
Alan Marshall.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure there was something about. He's certainly not local. The other three are local to Lockerbie, but
I think you might be right with Perth, but I'd be semi-guessing to that one.
So we'll see where we get to here.
Graham not entirely aware he's on camera there by the look of it.
Yes. Oh dear. I hope you did warn them all, David, beforehand.
They've been covered all weekend, so they should be aware.
Well, team are just leaving this stone. They've just leaving it just to come in now. They're leaving it late. Claire, what was the ice like in the first session?
It was quite good ice. I've heard people saying it was quite swinging. It was quite swinging ice. Looked quite good from where we were sitting, David.
Yeah, no, it looked fine. Reasonably consistent. Reasonable swing on it. I think there's a few comments just that it goes a little soft on top, but generally it's pretty good. The old adage I do quite like is it is the same for both teams. So it's certainly a skill in curling to keep track of the ice, keep following it. The one thing we don't like to see is pickups, obviously. There's been a few comments that there have been a few pickups, but to be perfectly blunt, we haven't actually seen that many up here. Always a bit different when you're actually down on the ice and playing the game. You obviously see and remember your own pickups a lot better than anybody else does.
So team black stroke Hamilton lying with two guards out front here. So Lorrain-Smith looking to capitalise on that by drawing in behind. I don't know if I would want two guards that close together. I'm not sure whether it's not bad, but they're not giving you an awful lot of options.
No, I think Scott will be Graham rather will be quite happy with the two guards there. Both can come straight back to the 4 foot if required.
So the sweepers are just keeping a close eye on this. They've been pretty close to it all the way down, but it looks like it's just not going to swing in quite as much. I wonder if that's just that wee bit heavy. Well, no, pretty T8, so hit and roll.
Yeah, I think so. The only problem with the hit and roll is you're coming back T-line. And if you do come back T-line, you've got a chance of the opposition coming straight down top, but then again you haven't got last stone, so get to the middle of the rings.
Yeah, interesting, just calling a barrier weight there, not looking for a full blown smack. Because we know that Robert Hamilton has got quite a big hit weight.
Yeah, Rob certainly does have a reasonable size hit weight, so just a nice controlled weight from him.
Sweepers are on it, and
getting very animated. It must be close.
It's fine.
Not quite as much of a roll as the top there.
Yeah, I just wonder if it was maybe a wee touch down in weight.
But then it's in front of T, so it's that balance of it's front of T, but you're probably going to see about half the stone. It's always difficult from our angle, but so the sweepers are on it. They've been on it pretty much since it left his hand here.
Yeah, I think they're all over the guard here.
Ah, right. So
I think in a minute Graham's going to like these guards even more. That's going to give Graham room to swing right down on top of the 4 foot, I would guess.
I think interestingly there, that one was probably all over the guards because of the weight of it. You know, it was obviously much further down in weight. I mean, that probably wasn't even quite biting the front ring. So here is Scott with his first stones.
Yep, updated graphics, technical wizardry on the go. And sweepers, you hear Robert shouting there, line only, so he thinks it's all there. The line's really good, so they're going to tuck this one. They've made the decision, bring this right down onto the top four. See the sweepers going at it now. Good encouragement.
Yeah, I think I would sweep hard if Graham Black was shouting at me. I've seen some of the way he shouts at some of the club curlers in Lockerbie, and they sweep hard.
Or just look back at him and say, what on earth are you looking at?
So,
I quite like to see the skips getting animated, I have to say.
Someone's coming down with quite a wee bit of force here. Not a bad effort there at all, clearing the guards, leaving it open, and also retaining a guard for their use. That's a not bad outcome there.
Yeah, minimum required outcome there. Puts the pressure back on to Graham, but I say pressure, he'll be pretty happy with the way this end's panning out at the moment.
Yeah,
looking pretty good to either force the one or steal, and I think he'll be hoping for the steal at this point.
You can hear there are another 5 games on this session. You can hear the pressure is ramping up. For some of these guys, they've only maybe got one more game after this. So pressure's on. Right, so the sweepers with this one are just keeping it clean. It's just coming in quite nicely. It's maybe overswung slightly.
No, I think that looks pretty good there.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Claire on this one. That's
right, I think I'm
nice
looking at this at the wrong angle. I'm looking too much at the side.
Yeah, it's pretty nice there. The question is, do you go for the tap up now or do you rip a guard?
So was that the third? Is that Simon coming down to have a chat with Hamish there? Looked like it, to try and see what the shot they might call.
I think I'd be clear the guards.
Because they seem to be a player down. I can only see 2 team members at the other end, so obviously isn't Simon because he looks like he's sitting in the hack. So
yeah, I think one of the front ends just off the ice at the moment.
Having the debate here whether to play a half weight or a full weight, so I think they've ended up going for a hack weight instead.
Try and come through that gap.
I'm not sure at hack weight that'll lift both stones.
I think that would be the worry, to be honest, Linda. And if you come through here at hack weight and nick a guard, you're not really giving yourself another option for your last stone either.
This looks like it's a wee bit heavier than hack.
And his disaster would be nosing one of these yellows.
Well, the sweepers have not touched it at all the way down here. So he's actually probably made that more difficult for himself. There's now no route in through that gap.
I really like what Graham's called here. Scott may not. By the look of Scott's face there. But I like coming down through the blues. It's at top 8, which means if either of these promoted blues comes into the house, it's going to block the path essentially.
Yeah, so they're just looking to call front ring. Would you be tempted to bring it all the way in, Claire?
I just think their front ring, just where Graham had his brush there, I think that's a great place to put it. If they can get it there, I think they're looking pretty good.
Somewhere anywhere.
Somewhere there, yep.
Even right the way and down that line somewhere. What they don't want to do is come fully 4 foot, because then the opposition can just literally follow them down onto the nose and take the shot, so they certainly don't want to be too deep. And if they start going deep, it's probably better through the back.
we will keep you up to date with the other scores as they develop, as the games develop. These are 10 end games, so there's still an awful lot of curling to go. The scores are also being updated on the RCCC website, the line scores. If you
sorry, Linda, I'm just going to bump in. These two supers are working this one really hard.
It looks quite
worried
light.
about the line. I think it's more line they're worried about. That's alright.
It's good there. It's just come up slightly shorter than what they would have wanted.
They call in the angled raise here. I don't think they've got an awful lot on.
It's going to have to be an angled raise of some description or weight. There ain't an awful lot else on.
So they are looking to see whether they could do the straight run back. But the third Simon seems to be favouring the sort of promotion of the blue just on the centre line. You'd have to hit that.
The one on the right hand side is really tight to actually get shot out of it. Personally, I'd prefer the one on the left. It's probably a bigger target area you're aiming at in the house.
Yeah, I think
whereas with the yellows in line, playing this one gives you a much narrower target. Well,
my concern is that he's just going to fly straight over the top of the first yellow.
I think, to be fair, that'll be his concern as well.
Sure. It's always so much easier from up here, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I wouldn't want to be playing this shot myself, so good luck to him. So he's just taking the time in the hack just to work out, take a deep breath. There's still one sweeper down.
Yeah, I have to say, I never noticed if we've been playing with 3 for 2 ends now.
No, we've not. I thought the third had come up to have a chat with Skip about a couple of stones ago, but no, they seem to have gone off the ice. So,
and this looks high.
Oh, Graham's right in there.
Oh, has it got a result? No.
Nope. It's not the result he was looking for.
So now what do you do?
What he has done is cleared 2 paths, so he's cleared a path down to the yellows and he's cleared a path for the draw, so he has had a wee result there. I think what Graham will be doing is something similar.
I think that's interesting that Graham's automatic. He placed his brush in the forefoot and Scott went straight out to the front. So this is probably why these two complement each other, I suppose.
No, in theory it should be a really nice balance between the 2 styles of play, I think.
Just to remind people, there are no time clocks this weekend, so people are at straight 10 end games. So I think yesterday we probably had the benefit of
needed the time
clocks. Them, could have done with them.
Graham can't guard everything up here. He's coming down this side, top 4. And what he'll be looking to do is set 3 in the forefoot. The other option he's leaving open is a hit through the port off the out turn, presuming Lorrain-Smith is right-handed, which I have to say I haven't noticed yet. He can't cover both, so it's basically what does he think is most likely to succeed, or what's the biggest danger. So he's obviously called that as a draw. Given both teams have had 2 practice sessions at drawing the button, I would agree with that. So we'll be looking for this to come top 8, top 4, block the draw down this left hand side.
Sweepers are on it straight off.
They're on it, but I wouldn't say out the window it looked particularly light.
No, Graham is screaming for them to stop.
It's swinging now. It's cutting across. It'll just come into view now for you. And he'll be really looking to get an inside edge. And he's counting 3. I think he would have liked it a little bit further. I think Scott's quite happy where it is.
Yeah, and because it's now forcing Lorrain-Smith to have to come down and attack those stones that are in the forefoot, because he doesn't have anything to play on that stone that Graham has just played, unless he does some sort of raise on it. But I'm not sure.
That's really dangerous. That's almost giving away a 1 at best.
Whether he's just decided he's just going to try and cut it down, not try and lose a 3.
I think the way to do that is through the port.
This is the last stone of the game. Last of the end. Gosh, I wish there were 2 ends.
Linda, you've only done 2 ends.
I know. Oh, it was because I was here for 5. I felt like I was here for 5 games for the Irish last weekend. So,
you were here for 5 games of the Irish last weekend. That's why.
Okay. So the sweeper's right off this here, just watching it come down.
Oh, it's just tickled it.
Oh.
And that's
a steal of 3 for the Hamilton team.
Yeah, big end for them.
Gives them a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, straight away into a good lead, as Claire says. And I was about to say they'll take a bit of catching up, but I've said that in a lot of games this weekend, and there has been some catching up.
There's a long way still to go with 10 end games.
Yeah, there is, and some of the scores have been quite interesting in Graham and Scott's games, I have to say. So.
Yeah, I was hearing about the 8-8 after, was it 6 ends or something?
8-8 after 6 ends, the first game this weekend, so quite impressive.
Nice high scoring games.
Lose a 3, take a 3, steal a 3, steal a 1, lose a 5. I think that's how it went.
So most of the other games have also finished their second ends. There's a couple of shots in it at most. Nobody's sort of stealing a march here.
I think we've seen that quite a lot this weekend as well. It's been quite cagey to start with, as you would expect at this level. Objective number 1, don't lose the game in the first 2 ends.
Yeah, well, we can see that between Taylor and Edwards. They played 2 ends, both of which have been blank. So yeah. Oh, interestingly, the Lorrain-Smith team are still just playing with 3 players here. So you wonder if someone's been injured or had a reason to go off.
I'm not sure which player's missing. Do you know, Linda?
I don't actually. I'm not sure whether it was their lead or their second, but obviously for those of you that are maybe not familiar with the rules, if you come on and play and then you go off injured, your team doesn't lose shots, whereas if you only start with 3 you will be penalised. I'm presuming, since this is an RCCC competition, that would mean a 6 shot, which would be quite... One of our co-commentators has just been for a biscuit run and hasn't brought anything back for us, Claire. Should sack him. Should sack him.
I notice you say that when I've actually got a mouthful of biscuit and can't answer back as well.
That's exactly the point. So
I'd also like to point out that biscuit's been sitting there since yesterday. So
fair enough. We're just commenting on the fact that Lorrain-Smith are only playing with 3 players. Do you know if there's a reason? Is there any chat in the gallery?
I'll go and find out. Would you like a biscuit while I'm away?
I don't think we would say no, Claire.
No, we wouldn't say no, David. I'll try and find out what the situation is there with only 3 players.
I'd like to class him as a roving reporter, but I think that's extreme. So, a stone looks like it's just coming in nicely. I'm just going to go back. Teeth, is it?
Yeah, it looks a bit heavy here.
In behind the guard, not bad. Counting shot, but it is back tee. So Graham's looking to see. So I think what he's saying there is, let's go for a controlled weight, hit the blue out, but if we take the guard, not the end of the world.
Yeah, that looks like what the call is here. Robert Hamilton's first stone.
So they're sweeping hard here. Also must be tight to this guard. Oof.
Oh,
Did that stone breathe in? Nice shot there by Rab. A bit of pressure on these guys, you know, only having 3 players, and you know, you just lose a wee bit on the sweeping, I think.
You do. It always makes that bit of difference with just having the one sweeper. You certainly notice. Especially this sort of not got off to the best of starts here, with 4 shots down already.
I think there's also the fact that, you know, it means, I know it's only 1 extra stone, but when you've been playing fairly intense, tight games, that extra stone can actually make quite a difference.
Absolutely.
So, you know, the fact that Skip's having to come out here and have a... not bad, though. Leaving it nice and open.
Graham looking to clear the guards here.
It's come down at a fair lick of knots. Exactly what he asked for. I always find it fascinating with a 10-end game. You know, you really have to keep it tight these first few ends just to make sure that you're in with a shout. These guys this weekend are required to play a minimum of 6 ends. They can't abandon before that. And when they get to the next round, they've got to play a minimum of 8 ends. I was reading the rules yesterday.
Well informed there, Linda.
As I noticed that there's probably supposed to be a 6th game on here, but I don't know, the fact that it's blanked up would suggest that these guys probably didn't need to be they probably are already out or already through. I'm not sure. We'll need to check with
I think that's right. Is that Neil Joss and Fraser Hare?
Yep.
Yeah, I think both teams. Again, too much now. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We're getting there with the graphics. Sorry, folks. We're too busy chatting to keep remembering to press the buttons. So, did we find out what was the story with the Lorrain-Smith team?
Kind of.
Oh, so is this gossip as opposed to fact?
No. This is from the head umpire. There is one player gone off with an injury. I'm not sure who though, so afraid I can't tell you that one. But certainly there is an injury there. That's why they're down to 3 players. I think certainly with 3 players swinging ice and down by 4 shots, and I see the house isn't looking particularly clever for them this end again. They're going to be right up against it. Well,
that's clear now. We're just having that conversation while you're away roving, reporting that even just playing that extra stone over a weekend like this, you know, just putting that extra pressure on your legs and your joints. I mean, obviously some of these guys are pretty fit. I'm not suggesting this team isn't, but you know, it's quite a physical game. It can take a lot out of you.
Do we know if this is the first game that they've played with 3?
Yeah, they actually went off injured in the second end.
Okay.
As their sweepers are being encouraged, and now they're being quite clearly told to not touch it. That's a lovely shot by Scott.
Just got the wee roll in there behind the guard.
Very nice.
Yeah, generally Scott's been playing really well this season.
Of course, you and your brother played front end for these guys at Lockerbie Super Spiels, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
You did quite well.
Yeah, we did okay. Ish, as you say. Yeah. Thanks for the vote of confidence there, Linda.
Well.
I think we did okay for a flung together team at the last minute. No, one thing. I mean, obviously Graham and Scott, both from Lockerbie. We've all played out the same ice rink, so we know each other reasonably well. Graham's a big thinker of the game. He does like to go into a lot of detail with his shots, and Scott's pretty good at just tempering that maybe and just saying, look, just play the simple shot. So the two of them worked quite well together. I think it's their only weakness is who actually plays last stones. They're probably both skips really. So it's just getting that balance of who steps down, who calls the game and plays the game how they're comfortable playing the last stone to. But I think just with a couple of games practice, they soon get that sorted out.
This is looking like a rather nice stone coming in.
I think it's just catching that front one.
Not bad there though. So this is Green Black's first stone. Just an unlucky shot. If you can hear all that screaming in the background, that was just feathered past on the sheet next door. Ewan McDonald versus Liam McCleary. We will keep you up to date with the scores. This is looking like a nice weight. The sweepers are just bringing it in here quite gently, no problem at all. Looks like it's pretty much T-weight.
It's just maybe a fraction deep because I think he's left the double there, coming off his own blue.
So David, you were saying it's must win for both teams. Is that typical.
I think it's an important game for both teams anyway. Certainly Scott was saying if they win this game, they're guaranteed at least a playoff.
Right, okay, with you.
I think it's possibly the same for both teams.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I think it is. I think this win would guarantee a playoff for Scott. For Hamish Lorrain-Smith, a win would guarantee a game to guarantee a playoff. So it certainly must win. But Scott's take on it before the game was, win it, they've got a good chance of going through. Lose it, and they're out. So, and to be fair, they've started the right way. So.
I did notice Graham's dad and Scott and Robert's dad in the audience, if that's what we want to call it, up here in the gallery watching.
Yep, Jim Black, Dave Hamilton are both up there.
Both very experienced curlers. Saw them both last night at Lockerbie. I can assure you that Jim also shouts just about as much as Graham.
Dave doesn't shout as much as Robert does. So.
No.
Oh.
Has he got the double? I think he has. He's certainly nudged it.
Nice outcome.
Now, is he lying 1 or 2? I think he's maybe just lying the 1. Don't think that's going to stop Graham from taking the double or a hit and roll in front.
Well, I suppose if you're 4 up, you're wanting to try and keep it clear. You don't want to allow them to get a chance at anything.
I mean, ideally Graham would like to force a 1 here, but that was a good shot that was just played there.
Yeah, it was, and just set that up a wee bit, just maybe by bringing their stone just a wee bit too deep into the house, the previous stone. Certainly
plenty of chat between the teams anyway. even though these competitions are quite serious, there is still always a bit of chat about everybody.
Scott chats to most people.
Yeah. Interesting mix of ages this weekend. We seem to have some sort of junior teams right the way through to older adults, I would say.
Wondered where you're going with that, Linda.
What I'm meaning is that it's not just everybody in there, it's not just a group of people in their 20s, is my point.
Yeah, there's some very experienced curlers out there, been around playing for a long time.
Yeah, I'm seeing tons of Scottish junior champions. I'm seeing European champions, world champions.
And that's just you and McDonald.
Exactly. So.
No, I think it's been quite. We commented on it in the first game. I think it's been quite interesting. For my money, the younger teams are hugely aggressive now. Any chance they'll be around the garden. I think some of the more experienced teams have had to adapt to that, and they have adapted. It is a
Standing off this, does this look heavy?
I think it looks okay, but
I just wonder if that lack of an extra sweeper comes into play there. Just don't want to leave them too much to do, and it's just one to Hamish Lorrain-Smith. So after 3 ends, Hamilton rink skipped by Graham Black, 4-1 up. I'd have to say at this stage in relative control of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be very pleased with how they've started, I would think.
really nice.
It's quite okay.
No, I quite enjoyed that one. I'm halfway through mine.
You're on.
Oh, we're on. Sorry. We've just been discussing our biscuit choices. Anyway,
Craig Gudmundsson did say you were going to discuss baking
yeah,
throughout
we were
this
asked by
game.
Craig Gudmundsson if we could discuss baking. I have no idea for what reason, Craig, but yeah,
I'm sure he has his reasons.
I'm sure he does. I was just informing Claire that the Henderson Bishop competition is here at the end of February, and that the local Dibca ladies have got a notice up in the ladies' changing room looking for tray bakes. So I'm sure that could be a bit of a great curling bake-off type situation. Must admit, when the guys did the world record attempt twice with the local curlers, were very good at providing baking, and I can assure you that some of the baking we got was absolutely fantastic. So this is Scott Hamilton's first stone.
Scott Hamilton's first stone in the end, yeah. Plain vice.
Yep. Good to see his mother makes an amazing, was it carrot and courgette cake or something
Yeah,
along those lines?
That's
Right.
fantastic.
Oh, it was amazing. No, it's quite good who you learn who's got some fantastic recipes.
Yeah, we got to try most things during the world record. It was quite one of the perks of it.
Yeah, even some of the Dibca ladies and their lasagnas and their layers of haggis and everything. Oh, it was amazing.
The
Amazing
tablet,
what you could
under
keep
the
in
tablet.
the tablet. What you could keep in a hot plate in the side of the ice rink was quite incredible. So, this ends obviously just playing out. No one's looking to build anything here.
Yeah, thank you for the baking segment,
Oh,
Linda.
that's all right.
That was
We can keep
pretty
Craig
well worked in.
Gudmundsson, happy.
I hope he was listening.
Well, he's on the ice, so yeah, we'll have to hope that he's playing it back.
Go and tell me where he is on the ice, Linda.
Oh, is he not on the ice? I thought he was playing for Liam
No.
McCreary's team.
Ross
Ross
McCready.
McCleary.
Oh, that would be why. Right, I didn't think I'd seen him. Right, okay, my apologies.
He's hard to miss with the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't think I hadn't seen him, but hey, just because I saw him going down the stairs as I came in, I presumed he was going to the ice, but maybe they were away for lunch. Right, okay. Anyway,
So back to the game.
back to the game. This is Scott's second stone.
Yeah, Super's just keeping this nice and free running. No real panic on it. Anywhere in the rings is fine.
So I mean, the most you're expecting to get here will be a 1. So this is Hamish Lorrain-Smith's first stone. I mean, Graham's got to be careful here, you know, that he is 3 up, but, you know, suddenly if he misses something here, you lose another one. Or do ends come into this at all this weekend?
No. Just pure and simple wins. But I think Graham will be quite happy with the way this end's running.
Oh,
I think so, yeah.
Everything's open. There's nothing to hide behind. Yeah, all he has to do is keep making the hits, which is he's not going to miss many open hits.
No, you wouldn't expect Graham to miss. Graham's first stone here.
So Scott's asking him for sort of 3/4 weight. It's interesting when you're playing at club level, even if you try and tell people that back ring weight doesn't actually mean hit weight, it actually means that you want the stone to finish at the back end.
I suspect that's Scott's way of saying don't play a rocket at me. Keep it sensible. And Graham's just done that. Played it well by the look of it. Quite happy with it. Sweeper's just keeping it clean really. And
Just a
straight on the nose.
So this is Lorrain-Smith's last shot. We can see some of the umpires sitting about, look kind of cold. Interesting that they're not actually sitting on the hog lines. They're sitting away from the hog lines. So again, nice stone, straightforward. It's good, got a bit of a roll, forcing, not to be exactly the same line as what they've just played. So
last stone of the end here. I think Graham will just try and blank the end. Keep hold of the hammer.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he'll do. Keep control of the game. It's not disastrous if he does nose it. Certainly prefer a nose than a complete miss. But I think this one will come down with plenty of weight. Basically, fire it where you want to hit it. And sweepers are on it. I wonder if this is getting close to the nose. Oh, it's close to the inside. Oh, they held it well.
They did hold it well.
I think he was a wee bit inside. And
yes, I think Robert's reaction there would suggest that he was not too impressed by that.
Graham's face coming down nice would suggest he wasn't overly impressed with his own shot there.
So blank end, 15. So there's one of the umpires for the weekend with our CCC umpires, just having a wee break, watching the games, keeping an eye on proceedings. Available should a measure appear. So here's the updates in the other games. Lee McCleary and New McDonald it is actually after 2 ends that score, not 1 end. But we'll update that and keep you updated. So as you can see, pretty close games.
The only game that's missing on there should be a game on sheet F, but Fraser Hare and Neil Joss don't need to play, so they've chosen not to.
Is that don't need to play because they're both through, or don't need to play because they're both out, or is it one in, one out?
I honestly don't know.
I think they're both out.
I would think that's probably the case, Linda. I don't think there's anybody guaranteed to be through yet. So.
Okay.
And James Kingan and Sons as well, one of the good local sponsors here. Sponsor one of the Wednesday night leagues. Division 1, yep. You've got a microphone, Linda. You're good.
It's a good system that we have here in Dumfries. We have 3 divisions that all play on a Wednesday night league. There's no club games at all on a Wednesday, and everyone plays in all the ice rink competitions at night. It seems to work relatively well. We've just had one of our commentators from last night pop into the box here, and he's also one of our volunteers for the World Championship.
Queen of the South game this afternoon, Richard?
Yes, it is, David. I'm just in to obviously watch a few ends of quality curling before I nip literally 100 yards over to see Queen of the South play Wraith Rovers this afternoon. Hopefully we'll have quality football, but this year I can't say every game has been perfect. But yes, good afternoon everybody. I've seen some really good games this morning, and so far it looks some quality games here, so I'll just hand back to David.
It's been good. Well, we can watch one of the goals from this end. That's all we can see from the ice rink. So if you jump up, I think it's at the end that's condemned though, so we probably won't be able to wave to you out the window. Right, so we're starting to maybe build a wee bit of an end here. We've got a couple of ends, stones out front here as guards. Giving Team Hamilton something to think about here. So Graham's calling a draw through the port here.
It's probably a wee bit of his decision time. Still lead stones right enough. I was going to say he could hit, but that would obviously be wrong.
Yeah, I think the conversation is, do they bump something? Do they take a wee skinny off the blue and roll in, or do they just draw straight the way round?
I think he's got last stone, so if he can get a yellow to the corner, is he just looking to hit and run with this maybe? they're not in great positions for him. He can't really do a lot with that yellow. Maybe a wee hack weight. Just chip the yellow, see if you can get some kind of split on one hanging around in the wings.
Well, it's certainly looking like a nice weight. It's a sort of back ring type weight coming up here.
Looks really high of line though. Yeah, it's not moved. Just a wee bit wide away, I think.
So it's the sort of first mistake I suppose we've really seen from Team Hamilton.
Yeah, and that's just what you're saying the last end, Linda. They don't want to take the foot off the gas too much, because one or two mistakes and all of a sudden you're in a girdly end and you lose a steal of a 1 or 2 and there's only 1 or 2 shots left in the game. So they're in a good position. So they just need to keep this end tidy.
That's it, and it's a good end to take a 2 here for Graham. 5th end, just going into the 5th end break.
Yeah, 5th end break, take a 2, you're 6-1 up, 5 shots up. They'll be pretty confident of seeing it out from there.
The sort of checkered trousers you're just seeing in the background belong to Graham Shedden, and I think I'd like to, maybe premature, but I'm complimenting him on the fact that his game seems to be playing at a reasonable speed compared to normally when we're covering Graham's games. They can be quite slow, but he knows this. When I interviewed him last time, he did acknowledge this. So yeah.
While also pointing out there's 2 teams on the ice, so both teams kind of share a responsibility for that.
Yes, I know, but you know what I mean. Lovely shot right on the tee line there. Graham's now looking to clear the guards.
He's looking at the run back, and he's lifted it.
And he's got it.
It's
Nice
a great shot from Robert.
That's a typical sort of Robert type shot, though.
Yeah, he plays it, watches it, shouts a bit, acknowledges it, and that's it done.
Chance here to come in behind these guards. Just a wee bit light here. So it's showing you how far the sweepers are dragging it in, but just not quite far enough.
I think Graham looking at taking some of these guards away here. Try and get 2 of the guards away.
Well, it's just a bit of a cluster there. It's just a danger that's maybe not needed.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hear any background noises of children chattering and cars rolling around, I think it's Ewan Byers' children that are up in the gallery. They were here last weekend watching some of the schools' competitions. So.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like they've got plenty of toys with them.
Obviously more interested in playing with their toys than watching the curling. They're maybe a bit young, I think, maybe.
You're just getting jealous, Linda, that's all it is.
What, that I can't play with
You
toys
can't go and
rather
play
than
with the
watching
toys.
curling. Again, this is coming down quite nicely, but it's looks like it's just caught the edge of that yellow and is going to roll on in, but is now out in the open, giving Graham a chance here to call the hit and roll. So he he's thinking about whether just to sit on it or whether to hit
No,
and roll.
he'll be hitting and rolling off this cylinder.
So I thought just when he put his brush down there, I thought, oh gosh, that's a bit of a weird call.
I'll be sure to tell him that
Well,
after the game you thought he was making weird calls.
You know what I mean. So they're right off this, they're not touching it at all.
Yeah,
So that just
catching it on the nose there.
didn't swing. That's a couple now that haven't swung maybe when people expected them to swing. Just looking to tap that blue up on the centre line. Just a nice sort of gentle weight this is coming down at.
It's looking a bit heavy. They were playing the tap up there, but
I think it
didn't
was
quite get the line.
As I say, I think just with being that wee bit up in weight to move it enough, but just gone too far. I'm afraid that at present we're not actually able to respond to any of the chat that you're putting up, if you are putting up any chats. So if you want to get in touch with us via the Facebook page. So this is Lorrain-Smith's first stone. So I missed the call clear. I think it was a draw, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Just try and draw behind these guards here, corner guards.
So again, just been limited by just having that one sweeper. Their one sweeper is desperately sweeping hard here. He's been sweeping all the way down. Thought somebody might have come out and give him a wee bit of a hand. I know they're watching the line, but it's just going to pull up just that wee bit short. You think there were two sweepers, you might have
got that round there. The weight was always looking a wee bit short though.
But not bad there. It's a bit of a opportunity for a tap up or a split. I mean, there's only that one yellow in the house just now, so...
Yeah, Graham's looking to try and draw around behind that blue stone that's just been played. Just sit at the front somewhere.
So Graham Black just taking his time in the hack here, just getting prepared and organised. Right, so Graham's screaming at them to not sweep. Rab and Alan were just on it a wee bit. I think this probably needs to swing a bit because it's going to be left out in the open.
Yeah, it's certainly sitting on the high side here.
That's that same sort of path that a few of those stones have come down that they've just not swung.
It seems to be catching them out a little bit.
Yeah, because it's interesting because obviously Lorrain-Smith had took slightly tighter ice than that, and of course has just wrecked. But that's been 2 or 3 stones that have come down that same side.
This gives Lorrain-Smith a chance here to play a hit and roll in behind the guards. Put the pressure back on Graham.
I mean, he has to hang around here, otherwise he's in danger. If he doesn't move that yellow and get a blue in, he's leaving an opportunity to lose a 3. You don't necessarily, from Lorrain-Smith's point of view, you don't want to go into the 5th end break 7-1 down. You want to maybe limit it to, obviously you want to try and steal the one. I mean, going into the 5th end 4-2 would be a far, far better result. Even 5-2, you could probably, regroup and come back.
Well, if he gets a wee hit and roll in behind the guard there, he's really putting the pressure on Graham to draw for the 1.
So it's nice, but it's just
drawing that bit too much there.
And Scott's going to sweep it all the way back now. I think that blue stone might actually be shot. It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
It's difficult to tell from this angle. Yeah, they're certainly having a good look at it.
I mean, out the window, I mean, it doesn't matter. The blue is. I mean, they're calling Robert in for a second.
Must be very close. They're certainly having a really good look at it.
I think sometimes the problem when they're that far across the house is that you forget by the time you get across what it actually is. Robert's
looks like they're confident that it's the yellow, so I hope they've got that right. Playing the draw here, draw for 2.
So Graham's just got to really touching the 8 foot, and he's fine. So hopefully they look like they're taking that same quite straight line coming down there. So Graham's shouting them on to sweep. They're sweeping hard.
I think they're sweeping for line more than anything else here.
Yep.
It's past.
It's fine.
Yeah, looks good here. It's coming in.
Just nice stone. So they're going for 2.
I think they'll probably measure this since.
Well, I think so.
They seem to be looking at it for so long.
I mean, Robert was adamant it was definitely a 2. It was his call to say just draw in for your 2. I think if I was Lorrain-Smith, I'd be tempted to call the measure just not quite for the sake of it.
They've given the 2. So that's a 2 to Graham, which gives him a 6-1 lead going into the 5th end break.
Is it a 5-minute break they get, or what's the sort of?
Yeah, it is, Linda. 5-minute break.
So what we'll do is we'll just take that 5-minute break as well. We'll get the scores updated, and in a couple of minutes we'll have the latest scores on screen for you. As I say, we'll just take a couple of minutes break, and we'll be back with the last 5 ends.
So these guys didn't take their full 5 minutes off the fifth time break. Don't know that. I think we just took it instead. So, coming back here, we're in the middle of the second stones. A nice little end building here. We would report that Team Lorrain-Smith appear to have a full complement of players. Again, it looks like. Is it, or am I just seeing someone without their jacket on and thinking it's somebody different?
No, I think you're right there. They appear to have 4 players on now.
Do they though?
Or
Or did the guy just jump up and sweep behind the stone? Do you know, there's somebody who looks different. I can't decide if they're taking their jacket off or if they're still just playing with 3. I think they could just be playing with 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Robert Hamilton's second shot here. Graham's trying to think about what he's wanting to do here. Looks like he's calling the peel of some description. It's just which way he's looking to run this. It is, exactly. See these people that are just in to watch the Queen of the South games and are not even going to attempt to speak. Oh, my apologies, going to a wedding, not the Queen of the South game. I think a wedding might be more exciting.
It's about the same level of entertainment, I would argue.
Right, okay. This is Robert's let it off quite a full weight here. Oh, what a shot. What a shot.
Good shot played there by Robert, yeah, that's what Graham was wanting.
So he just picked the two blue stones out and rolled out himself. We can have a wee replay of this. No, I think they are just down to. I think just someone's taking their jacket off.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there. got us both out though.
They look different.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it, is it? The jacket came off.
But again, I think they've just got this temptation just now, just to be putting up a wee bit in weight, just as they're not. Don't have those 2 sweepers. Not a bad outcome, but then it's leaving it open just straight for a hit and roll. So Scott Hamilton's first stone here. The sweepers are on this hard. They're being shouted on and on. I don't know if it's for the line, just to avoid the back one. You'd say very much in control, Claire, of this end.
Yeah. Graham Black and his team seem to be playing really well here. Not taking any chances there, just not leaving any blue stones about, just getting rid of them. Trying not to let any sort of end build up against them. I'd quite like to force a 1 here and then take the hammer back in the 7th end.
Though you wouldn't complain about stealing a 3, perhaps. Well, that's as it sits just now.
There's a gap here.
Looks like it's going through the gap. Got the back one.
No, I think it's unlikely they'll complain about stealing a 3, certainly. Graham's got a wee decision to make here. Does he go aggressive? Does he guard the one on the 4-foot, which I think he probably will do, or does he go defensive and take the blue out? I think this is a good enough chance to have a wee gamble, stick a guard up there, and let Lorrain-Smith worry about it.
Yeah, would you be wanting to bring that guard sort of into the front rings? Or is it line that's more important than...
It's really a line. You don't want it to be too long, certainly. I don't think you don't want it outbeating the blue. That's far too close. So Yeah, maybe just biting top 12, but not essential.
So the sweepers are going hard on this. It's looking like it is over.
Yeah, Robert's shouting, get a bite. So I
Well,
think he's happy with the line. And there we go.
That's a pretty good guard there, yeah.
What were they panicking about? It's maybe somebody on the sheet next door that was panicking, actually.
no, I think it was them a wee bit. I thought it was a bit light initially. I think that was their thoughts. So looking to clear the guards here. Interesting, looking to take his own as well.
Yeah, looking
maybe-
to clear both of those guards away here. And roll away, open up the forefoot.
Yeah, and this is the problem for them now. They're 5 shots down, looking to build, and all of a sudden they find themselves ripping guards off.
So it looks like the third is maybe suggesting a different shot here.
Yeah, I quite like just down onto it, a freeze. I think the problem is with a freeze that Graham might just call a bluff and chuck another guard up.
Well, he was suggesting a sort of back 8 weight there, back 4, back 8, just almost looking like they were going to bump it slightly rather than necessarily freezing on it, David.
Yeah, but even at that, how do you get your second stone into the forefoot?
Is that why he's not maybe touched the blue out the front, thinking he could raise that up?
I don't mind that as a shot. Raise the blue up, it opens up both forefoot paths at the same time.
This
The last place you want to be is short with this.
is looking like a nice weight.
Yeah, but it's not short. I may just see Graham come try and either guard it.
Or is he going to look to lift that? He's saying, well, they've got that shot.
He's lying one on the button, pretty much buried. So yeah, just exactly what Scott's just called. Stick a guard on it. Let the Blues worry about how they get the yellow out of there.
So these games are available if you want to watch them back on our Dumfries Curling YouTube channel that we have. Also available on our YouTube channel is our Shot of the Month competition, sponsored by British Curling Supplies. So the best shot of the month played in the ice rink goes into a competition, everyone votes for it, and the winner gets a EQ pad courtesy of British Curling Supplies, one of our sponsors of that competition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite a nice competition, and just coincidentally we've got the winner of this month's competition just running away from the commentary booth. It's fine, he's not getting a name check for that then. Mr. Ross Fraser, would you like to add your thoughts on how you won it? It's gone shy.
So it's probably one of
Shocking.
the first times that someone that's not a junior has won the Shot of the Month.
Yeah, the juniors tend to rig the voting.
Well,
Sorry, group together for the voting.
to be fair, it's a Facebook thing. I'm not sure how many of our older curlers are on Facebook.
It's partly by design as well. It's good to get the juniors involved in these kind of things, that they're not just constantly getting let's draw the button. They're not scared to go for the big shots. So Scott's put a guard up there. Not quite sure it's swung enough. He might have
No, I
preferred
think it's
that to come
hanging out a wee
across.
bit. Looks like they're looking at some sort of hit and is it hit and roll, a sort of a hackish weight here, or are they looking to come down through that gap between the two yellows? I'm not sure.
I think they're looking at a gap at the moment, yeah. I think they think there's a gap there.
Yeah, I think there is a gap there. It's not a very big gap, but there is a gap.
So yeah, they're calling a sort of hack weight, so enough to bump the stones back a wee bit. The gap's not as small as it looks actually when you see it from the overhead angle.
Yeah, you probably don't see as much of the blues with maybe thought they would as well.
No,
So
as I say, you're going to maybe see at most a third or a quarter of the blue.
which is actually not a bad thing, because it means it's always angling in behind the other two guards.
Yeah, you can see where you want to hit it, so
Yeah, exactly. You can see enough. Doesn't look with the ice they've given they're going to play a particularly heavy shot though.
No, they were just calling hack weight.
Yeah.
So this looks a wee bit heavier than hack. So the sweeper's right off this. Is it a bit high?
He's through the
It's
gap.
through the gap anyway.
Nice shot.
Yeah, it's a really nice shot, and it's just about moved that yellow far enough he can get it from the other handle now as well.
Yeah, it certainly puts the pressure on Graham here with his last stone.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's lying really well. Sorry if you're hearing a wee bit of background noise, it sounds like somebody's taking food away from Graham Sloan.
I don't know what you would do in this situation. I mean, the three blues are all pretty well guarded up. You're going to have to raise something to move them back, and I suppose it's the danger of just now they're actually only lying one. So do you try and prevent them from getting rid of your one so that you give up a one and retain, get last stone, or do you do some sort of angled raise, double, triple, movie round takeout thing and see what happens? Because that's what's really going to happen.
Would you like me to draw that? Or
Okay, well, come on, get your little illustrator pen out. But
go
no.
and tell me what you want drawn.
I don't know what I think they're raising the yellows. They're using the yellow out the front here, I think.
I thought they were trying to come in the same line that's just been
Oh, you
played.
think
Yeah.
that's what right.
I think
I
they're just
think
trying to
that's
come
what
in
it
through
is.
that gap there.
I think that's exactly what we should try to come down into there and sit in there somewhere. I think that's
so
what they're called.
and maintain that sort of second shot position.
It just gets another yellow in there as well, doesn't
Yeah.
it? So
His sweepers are on it straight off. He's asking them to stop sweeping. It obviously needs to swing a bit. He's asking them to stay close. They're watching the line all the way up here. They're now being called on it. So it swung. Looks a bit light. That's alright though. So it looks like they were playing there content to give up the
It
one.
really needed to come in further there.
So that they could block that blue being useful, or I mean they've got the yellow. They can. I mean, I'm presuming they'll see about a quarter to a third of that yellow at the back on the back of the forefoot.
yeah, I think you can see a good bit of it anyway,
Yeah.
Linda.
They'll certainly be looking to come round.
Just take that
Well,
overlay off just so you can see a bit more.
But it's whether, because Lorrain-Smith's probably going to have to gamble a wee bit here.
Well, I was just going to say, I think you have to go for it because you're 5 shots down.
And
You
you've got
need something to happen.
Well, if you peel this yellow out, at best you're going to get a 3. If you hang around by taking it out, you could get a 4, and suddenly you're right back in the game.
Yeah, it's a long way to shift that guard though. So I think if they can come round hack weight, you only need to bump it 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, even if they just move it 1 foot, then they would get a 3.
Yeah, that's right. I think that would be their favourite choice if they can see. It just depends if they can think they can come round there and see enough of it.
It looks like they're actually going for the raise here. So it looks like they're interested in the skips going. Hamish Lorrain-Smith going down to the other end. Interesting to see if he sits in the hack, if he changes his mind. His third is calling the raise here. They obviously don't think they can see enough of the yellow to come to come round to move it, that they're calling the raise on the blue. We've got to hit that pretty dead on.
Just to let you know, we've got our first result of the session. Ewan McDonald takes a big 5 in the 5th end. I think what they're doing, they have to play 6 ends, so what we're seeing is hit weight after hit weight just coming down through the house. So the 6th end is taking a very brief 30 seconds. So that's that game done and dusted.
So interesting, the teams there discussing what the different shot options might have been.
Yeah, it wasn't a million miles away from that, to be fair, either. Just slid by the high side of it.
So just a 1 there for Lorrain-Smith, so that brings that score to 6-2 after 6 ends.
Yeah, I think Graham would be quite relieved to see that one go by.
Yeah, it's maybe just a wee scare just to keep him sharp for the last few ends.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be wanting so many stones to build up in this end.
No, but it might give the Lorrain-Smith team a bit of confidence, make them think, well, we were close to getting a 3 or maybe a 4 there. We just need to, because, these guys can get a bit rattled. They don't always make 100% of their shots. I think
it's either that or they start thinking they've missed their chance, one of the two.
Yeah.
Just to put a positive spin on it there for them.
Yeah.
I was trying to be more positive than missing your chances, but yeah. So it was like Graham Black's team just saying, yeah, let's just put them in the house, see what you've got.
Yeah, I think he's still relatively comfortable that Lorrain-Smith's going to call another guard, so he may as well get in there behind the guard first before it goes on.
This is looking like nice guard weight. Am I right in thinking that no one's playing more than 2 games today, or do some teams have 3 games?
I think some teams must have 3 lined up.
Gosh, that's a lot of curling.
No, sorry, no, you're right enough. Just the two. So not too bad a schedule. Apart from the commentators.
Well, we're covering every game, so...
Well, some folk are anyway. Certainly Graham Sloan doing a fair few. I think Scott Hamilton's going to join him for the last 2 games of the day. More worryingly, we're leaving the technical side of it to Graham as well, because I'm leaving for the rest of the weekend, unfortunately. We'd have loved to stay to watch some more prior commitments.
We'll be watching online, checking up.
Yeah, well, don't absolutely, I'll be checking up on them. No doubt about that at all.
So looking to take these stones, or at least try and move them out of play a bit here. Just kind of controlled weight coming down here. Just they probably wanted to hang about a bit themselves there. It's fine to take it out, but
yeah, they're really looking to try and steal here, so they're
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Graham doesn't go for the guards as well now. They're sitting quite nicely to lift them both and roll to the corner.
I think that's exactly what he's called for Rob.
Yeah, I think he learnt from the last end to clear the guards when he gets a chance.
Yeah, got a nice player at second, Robert Hamilton, to do that as well. Robert's got a good hard accurate hit weight.
So this one looks like it's swinging a bit more. Nice.
And everything disappears. And we've got a nice tight end again from the Hamilton point of view.
Must be quite frustrating if you're Hamish Lorrain-Smith, so you're trying to build an end, you had your guards in a nice position, and yeah, now you're looking at basically a straight take-out game unless you start to put the guards back up. But
He'll keep trying, I think, to put some guards up. It's early in the end yet, so he'll keep trying, but I think that last shot was a bit of a mistake from the Lorrain-Smith team.
Yeah, when you say they've got nicer position guards, they're not nicely positioned if you can get rid of them all with one shot. So
I was more thinking about protecting the centre line and the 4 foot. Nice, but yeah.
Yeah, it's, you're right enough. I think it's one of the most underrated things in curling as well. If you can do that to a team, all of a sudden they've got to start the end from scratch. They've only got 4 stones to do it. It can really alter the way people think about the game.
Yeah, I mean, indication there seems to be that, you know, if they take the yellow there, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, you should be able to pick that out without.
Yeah, that's fairly just half stone, gets rid of it. Maybe a wee bit inside out on the delivery because it was screaming for yes and then no and then yes. That's fine though, does the job.
Exactly what was requested. Scott, I think, indicating his brother there was not a lot in that. Interesting, Robert must still deliver with his brownie, but sweep with a performance.
Yeah, he does.
I must admit, I did try a brownie once and I didn't have enough power to move. I just stuck to the ice. I mean, it was a hammer. After that, I just didn't have enough. There was not enough oomph. I think my problem was that my hairy brush was a handmade. It was a proper curling brush head, but the shaft was off a mop, so it was plastic. So I was well ahead of my time with having a light brush. So then going to this brownie, it didn't happen.
It's quite interesting how you blame the brush and not your sweeping technique, though. Yeah. At the risk of getting a microphone thrown at me.
I think I was like 15 or something. So
okay, I'll let you off then.
I thought my hairy brushes were not cool anymore.
You were just remarking last night, actually, they seem to be back in fashion. There's quite a few kicking about the ice. Maybe not so many in this session, but certainly the other session there's quite a few.
I've still got mine in the garage. I'll maybe dust
Have
it
you?
off.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you should bring it back out.
Stick it on eBay.
Oh wee. It's an antique. Came from the original Dundee ice rink.
Did it?
Yeah. I think it was knocked down in like the 80s, so that's how old it is.
When you say it was taken from the Dundee ice rink.
They sold them off when they closed the ice rink. They sold off the brushes. So my granddad at the time bought the brush, so it was his brush, and then he wasn't fit for curling anymore, so I got it. But he'd
take the girl out of 4-4.
He'd shortened the shaft because he was a skip and didn't need to sweep with it, and it was too short to sweep, so we put a mop handle on it instead. So it was a lightweight brush with a hairy head.
Must have looked quite interesting.
Yeah, it was done up with electrical tape. Look a bit better. So yeah, I can't get rid of it.
Oh. No, not a disaster, that one. It'll be interesting to see what Hamish Lorrain-Smith does here, because he's in that, does he gamble or not? Graham Black has the last stone here, sitting 2 in the rings. Obviously the blue's still shot though, so how does he go about forcing Graham to a 1 without running the risk of losing a huge end?
Do you know, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Just noticing Hamish Lorrain's trousers as he was going past there looked very much like the same trousers that the guys who were on the Canadian tour last year were wearing, with the Scotland flag just on the thigh. I'll see if I can keep my eyes out for that. So coming down
Thinks
nicely.
it's all there already. Sorry, Linda.
I was going to say, I think it needs swept. I mean, very much just over and up, but
It's just not swung, and that's a bit of a mistake. If Graham can get this one right, he should be in for a 3.
yeah, I would have been tempted to have swept that on a bit to try and get it to come across,
Yeah, you're probably
or
right,
to bring
Linda.
it further
Yeah,
in,
just
so
to
that
keep it moving. Yeah.
bring it. Even if you just got another quarter stone, make it more difficult. Whereas I would think Graham will be able to see about half of that from the other end, given the ice it's got given him there.
I think Graham will see the whole stone, Linda. I think he'll see the whole thing from there, just with the angle. Remember, Graham's left-handed.
Yeah, forget that. So they're sweeping hard though.
By the guard, and I think this will roll out the way. Roll in behind the
Nice.
guard.
Very nice
Played.
shot.
And from what they're calling, this could be the game finishing right here. If they don't make that freeze, Graham's going to have a shot for a 4 and an 8-shot lead with 3 ends to play.
Yeah, I think so, David. I think it's a big shot here. I think if he doesn't make it, it'll be game over.
Yeah, they're just maybe considering playing something. Don't know if they're playing something else or whether they're just considering the ice for that shot. But I just wonder if they've switched to going for the double now, have they?
Do you know, I think the double's a wee bit risky. I mean, yeah, you're going to reduce the stones, but you're not going to particularly. Well, yeah, you're going to maybe lose less of an end, but I'm not sure if you to take the double that you would also then hang about in a way that you weren't going to just be open for a straight hit for a 2.
Yeah, I think you're right with that, Linda. I don't see any way of getting rid of 2, and he is playing the hip, just a down weight hip.
Yeah, it's just a nice hack weight.
It's kind of half weight.
I hope I'm wrong, but
Looks a pretty good effort. There you go.
It's a good effort, very good effort.
And it is in behind the guard as well.
oh well, impressive, good shot.
So just to prove us wrong.
So that's given them a lot to think about. That's Graham just going to draw in there, take his 1. No,
I think he's going to try and chip it.
chip it.
Bear in mind he's 4 up. He can afford to have a go at this. If he loses a 1, it's not an absolute disaster. Whereas if he can get a 2, it's probably game over. So definitely worth it.
Yeah, I
Go
mean,
at it.
it's a very long guard, isn't it? So
It is. There's a good bit of swing coming off that centre line as well. See what Scott's reaction is here. I think he likes it.
Well, it's looking good.
Just needs to come a couple of inches. I think he's good though.
Yep.
yep, he's got it.
It's a great
Well
shot
played,
from
Graham.
Graham Black.
Shot. So
and that's a 2, and there's the handshakes.
End of the game. So our understanding is that this means that the green and black Scott Hamilton team is now in a position where they're probably guaranteed a playoff.
They've guaranteed a playoff, but they still have one game this afternoon, and I think if results go their way, they can qualify straight through with that. So that's us finished for this afternoon game. Thank you very much to Linda and Claire for doing some commentary. Gives us a good break from everybody else that's been doing it as well, so thank you very much for that. Keep an eye on the RCCC website for the line scores for the remaining games. And we are back somewhere around 4:30 to 5 o'clock-ish, depending on exactly when the games go on. And it'll be a completely new set of people, and I have no idea what game we're covering. We'll pick one that's kind of most relevant to the section when they get going. So hopefully we'll see you then.
Thank you very much, David.